Okay, so for today's agenda, we're going to do a quick set of introductions. Then we're going to talk about where you're at with Oracle Cloud today. We're going to talk about levers for optimization, and we have quite a few, but a couple key highlights: security, user experience, etc. We're also going to talk a few customer stories, and then we're going to leave you with kind of what's next, right? Some references for you guys to go back to and some key steps to get going on your optimization journey. But before we get started, quick set of introductions. My name is Jordan Fuger-Burmeister. I'll be the moderator for today's event. I'm our director of marketing here at Alere, and my team really is focused on putting together great content like today's session so that users can be educated and get the information they need to be successful with their Oracle applications. I'll hand it over to the star of the hour, Jason, to introduce himself.
Thanks, Jordan. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jason McCabe, as Jordan mentioned. I am the Cloud ERP practice lead at Alere. I've been here for just over 13 years now, implementing Oracle solutions. Started with PeopleSoft projects, and as the cloud product became more online, transitioned to help build the cloud practice with Alere, and I work in our SaaS solution delivery team. Excited to talk to you about our experiences today in helping customers with cloud transformation projects, and talk to you a bit more about what experiences you might be facing.
Excellent. Thanks, Jason. We have to, of course, do a quick plug for Alere. Hopefully most of you have heard of us or worked with our team in the past. We're really focused around all things Oracle application and making sure those Oracle applications are successful for the people, processes, and systems that you need to run your business smoothly. We are PeopleSoft to cloud experts. That's our main kind of bread and butter, both starting on PeopleSoft now 19 years ago. Most of our partners were even at PeopleSoft before then, to now transitioning as you look at a larger kind of roadmap for your IT applications. We have a bunch of great accelerator tools, both for PeopleSoft and in the cloud, that we love to share with our valued clients. And we are recognized members of the Oracle partner community, both on the PeopleSoft innovator side and Oracle recognized cloud implementers. Really, the basis of what we do is not only understanding the applications, but understanding the business processes, the common pain points that you guys have in your day-to-day, and building creative solutions that help solve those roadblocks and make your day-to-day easier. We do want to do a quick slide for some of our valued cloud customers. Alere really works across all industries. We do a lot of both private sector, public sector, in the federal space as well, and are really experienced with those unique kind of nuances to each of those industries and what it means to have Oracle applications and your business processes be successful for your unique industry needs. With that, I will pass it over to Jason to talk a little bit about where you're at with Oracle Cloud today.
Thanks, Jordan. When we look at cloud transformation projects and some of our customers we've seen, we've really formulated an approach or a strategy with helping customers with their transformation and the journey. We've kind of broken that into three specific, what we call days, which helps us kind of identify the path for we see customers really taking and defining specific milestones for the approach. So as you can see on this slide, we really frame it from a day 0, 1, and 2 perspective. Day 0 is really about cloud readiness, preparation, the specific activities that can be taken with your on-premise and legacy tools to prepare for the transformation, and really help set up foundational success for a movement to a SaaS-based solution in general. A lot of them are non-technology related. A lot of them are about preparing your organization and the resources to support the project, and then taking a look at what you use today from an application perspective and for preparing to do this lift or an implementation. Day 1 is really an implementation project. There's going to be different variations that customers take with this approach, that can go from moving everything from on-premise to a cloud solution, or potentially siloing out specific functional areas that make sense strategically for what a customer wants to take on. And that really makes the day 1 to 2 have different flavors for what a customer might experience, and different ideals and how they're gonna need to leverage software and the journey and its duration that it might take. And really, once fully on the Oracle solution from a cloud perspective, I mean, it doesn't really just end there, which is what we're going to dive into today. Once the product's been implemented, how did that project look? How did it feel? What was left behind potentially? And we're just going to frame some ideas on what we've seen from different levels of optimization to help customers really find the value that was the goal of the implementation itself. The software itself will be self-updating and self-sustaining. So ideally, these implementation projects are the final project that will have to go through from that perspective. But we need to set up good processes and procedures in place to make sure it's sustainable and adopted correctly. So we're going to just dive into that through the rest of the project. But this is our strategy holistically with customers and how they prepare.
Thank you, Jason. And with that, we are going to hop quick into our first poll question. So this is really just gauging the feel of the room that we have today. So what's your confidence level with Oracle Cloud? Are you able to complete basic tasks? Is it a struggle, which is totally okay? We're not sharing who answered what. Are you comfortable with your day-to-day tasks, but they maybe take a moderate amount of effort? Or are you feeling pretty confident you're able to complete your tasks with a low level of effort, and maybe you're looking to take that next step? We'll give another 10, 15 seconds here. Again, this is going to allow Jason and I to kind of cater today's presentation to how comfortable, what level of experts we have in the room here today. The virtual room, I guess. There's about 5 more seconds here, and then we will share. Okay. So it looks like a little bit across the board, but predominantly pretty confident, able to compete those day-to-day tasks with a low level of effort. And then a little bit of struggle, a little bit of day-to-day comfortability, which, we kind of expect to be normal here. Oracle Cloud has developed so much. Everyone went live at different times with different capabilities. So that makes sense. Jason, I will hand it back to you.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have a couple of customers I've talked to that have been live on the platform for over 5 to 6 years, and they still feel like they're in that early adopter phase, and the software changes so dramatically, year to year with new features and functionality, and how it's delivered and the user experience that comes with it continues to get better and just more refined. So it's not surprising to see such a spread, response list. And I hopefully that everyone can find something of value today, which is what we're going to talk to next. So as I mentioned, we've helped customers really specifically in this optimization phase since 2017 when our cloud practices really started. We helped right away with some customers that were recently live and looking to validate some of their core configuration, work on module expansion, revisiting project assets that need to be in place from an adoption perspective. And it really helped us build this kind of pyramid of levels of optimization. I like to joke that this was kind of like our Maslow's hierarchy of needs with Oracle Cloud from a stabilization perspective, but it really kind of sets the foundation with stabilization post go live, finding the adoption with the user community in your organization, and then really finding all of probably the bells and whistles which were sold in the idea of Oracle Cloud that we see customers getting to. But if we don't build the base from a starting perspective, we really see customers tend to struggle. So we do spend a lot of time helping with that, core components there. So we're going to dive into each of these different levels and kind of give some ideas and examples. And if you have questions, please feel free to use the chat. We'll be able to answer those as we move through things. So first and foremost, with stabilization, updates and maintenance is really the first thing that's going to hit once you are live. Ideally, this is one of the big things that sells a SaaS solution is that we don't have this long duration between an upgrade to get new features and functionality. With the Oracle solution, you're going to get 4 quarterly updates per year based on your quarterly update schedule that you need to be ready for and keep up with to make sure that you can take advantage of all these new things that are going to come with the application that you invested in. Now, these quarterly updates do give you an opportunity to test and experience the new features before they're applied to your production instance. So really getting ahead of your approach and how you're going to strategize to do this adoption is important. Ideally, you've had a chance during your implementation to begin this process and working with your account team from Oracle. If you were assigned like a technical account manager, a TAM, or a customer success manager, they should be explaining some of these things to you. If not, we can definitely give you guys some resources for that. And just to explain how to review release notes, how to apply new features, how to upgrade new features, and then how to appropriately regression test changes to functionality you're using today. Most new features come with a chooser option for enablement right away, but eventually they do become required. So you need to make sure you're keeping up with release notes and when features are not just released, but when our new feature is going to become required for your functional footprint. So having a good sense of what have I implemented from an Oracle functionality perspective, and then what are the releases that are coming with that within the release notes is a process you need to kind of maintain 4 times a year. In conjunction with that, you want to be prepared to regression test changes to the application. So hopefully you have great testing assets in place to manage all of that. And then you can build a simple process and a plan. I'm a project manager at heart, so I love having a project plan for everything. And I think that will be really key for adoption and successful application of these updates. Simple things like ensuring your test environment is copied prior to the update, so you have the latest data in your test environment to test against is important. What personalizations have you made to the application that might be affected? What integrations might be affected? Just having a solid strategy in place for all of that is going to be important as you begin to experience the world of the on-premise, the world of the cloud solution versus your on-premise applications. So once we have a solid plan in place for the quarterly updates, as you also are go live, taking a look at what was the scope when the project started and what potentially was not implemented, or also what was implemented and how was it done. So we like to see, so we see some examples of customers doing evaluations of configuration to make sure it's meeting your business needs, getting all the application users in place with the security that they need, and then taking a look at your transactions from a business process perspective against the application to see how is that working in Oracle Cloud in your new future state.
And Jason, just to jump in here quick, I know your team has done a ton of this kind of fixing and cleanup work for customers already live. Can you maybe give us an example or two of the type of work you guys usually see?
Yeah, so one thing that comes to mind, last year we helped an organization that recently went live with their stabilization. And what we learned is in getting integrated with them on their recent implementation of cloud is that their enterprise structures from a hierarchy perspective was not configured in a way that allowed them for their future growth and expansion that they were looking for. It's an organization that's looking to do new development of new business and new revenue generation streams. And they needed to have the proper roll up from a reporting perspective of the legal reporting units, which is the definition of kind of the business units and ledgers that come with Oracle. So we had to help them with do some just reconfiguration of that and how their hierarchies rolled up so that their financial reporting was appropriate and ready for the future expansion that they were looking to do. We've helped customers just with reconfiguration of templates, workflows. It's kind of a big one, making sure that approval processing is meeting requirements and going to the right people and notifications are turned on. And all of those kind of little cleanup things. They do add up though. I mean, it's a significant amount of work and you need to have a proper plan in place to get all those things provisioned correctly. Okay. Security. We kind of mentioned security before and just making sure everyone has access, but with this day and age, we really need to make sure that security is correct for your organization requirements, not just within the application from a role-based perspective and data. Oracle role-based security is really based on who does what, when, and how. So you're provisioning a job role or their job functions in the application and then provisioning data access against that. That's how Oracle works in the application. But really, there's more than that. There's multi-factor authentication, single sign-on. Oracle actually has its own identity cloud service now, which is an email-based tool to ensure that security into the application is really tight. So make sure you're looking at things like that and that you're in compliance with your own internal organization security policies for applications. Beyond that, we want to make sure we have clear, robust segregation of duties. That comes out of the box with Oracle, but if you've created any sort of custom roles to meet your organization requirements, you need to do an audit to make sure that that has not been violated. There are dashboards or reports that come with Oracle that can compare role access to make sure you are in compliance. We definitely recommend taking a look at that and setting up a process in place to make sure that that stays consistent as you continue to use the system and potentially add new users and new functionality. And that's something that we could see happening, in conjunction with your quarterly updates or an annual audit, making sure that also you're provisioning your licenses correctly to the application for how you want to use it. You can work with your Oracle account managers on that. But just making sure that the security of the application is controlled within it and then to get into the application itself. And then finally, with level 1 stabilization, we like to talk about finishing. We really showcasing some examples here of what we've seen optimization projects taken on by customers post go live. And this is really kind of the next steps on that punch list from when the initial implementation. Things that potentially got de-scoped to meet deadlines and timelines, or needed to be added as the project went on, but was not able to be incorporated with the project plan due to timing. Some examples of this are completing bank connectivity integrations, evaluation of custom reporting needs that are part of your reporting requirements. If there's any gaps there, making sure that you can properly do your business operations through the tool. Security is another one that kind of gets pushed to the end that we see falling into the post go live area. And then management of and stabilization of integrations with third-party applications. Again, that goes through a period of performance stabilization just to ensure data is flowing correctly between Oracle and the third-party app, both inbound and outbound to the tool. And really, we see a lot of customers at this point taking on an analysis to look at the roadmap and say, we started with these goals and objectives. We went through the project. Did we accomplish those goals and objectives? Okay, yes, we did that. What's next, right? The journey doesn't really end with go live, as we mentioned, and really having a proper plan in place is important at this stage through you've completed your level 1 stabilization. And at this point, you're looking at what's next. And this is where you can really find the value with the tool and look to expand potentially your footprint or really look to optimize and find more analytical options within your user community.
I know that next we're going to get into adoption here as we kind of round out that level 1 stabilization. Just a quick plug, if any of these topics are resonating with you or you have specific questions, feel free again to drop those in the Q&A or drop them in the chat, and we will leave a little bit of time at the end to talk through specific questions or examples. To you, Jason.
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah, so training. So once we've gotten through those 4 areas of level 1, we see customers now reevaluating what assets do I have in place for new user onboarding for my user community today to use the tool and make sure that we're not moving against it from a process perspective. Sometimes we see customers that don't do a thorough job with training and change management, that they're still continuing to struggle for the users to find all of the features and functionality that come with Oracle and this new future state. So some things are just being done outside of the system that shouldn't be, or they're not really leveraging the tool end to end as it could be, which really breaks down the ability to be analytical. And again, we're just being more repetitive in our manual transactions. So really making a fine effort to say, what tools do we have in place from our community to make sure that they can feel empowered to use the tool. Oracle has what we call journeys and guided learning that are 2 integrated tools into the application that are used for new employee onboarding, processing, checklist items, and new forms. And then you'll have potentially a learning management tool or some other kind of training tool. How is that integrated with your Oracle footprint so that your community can really feel empowered, independent to really adopt and build upon the tool? Obviously, with an application like Oracle that's going to be continuing to be updated and invested in, we need to have a strategy to keep all that training documentation in place. That's what we call an evergreen strategy. And it's really, once a year, twice a year, looking at what has changed by each of these functional areas and how do I need to adjust training materials appropriately to keep that stuff up to date, which is key for it being useful. So definitely check out those Oracle tools I mentioned, journeys and guided learning, and see how your team is leveraging your training assets that came with your project and what's the process you have in place to keep that information up to date.
And just to hop in here as well, I know Jason mentioned in level 1 that building a future roadmap, if you don't already have these user tools like Oracle Guided Learning or like Journeys implemented, and you have them on your roadmap, or maybe you don't, ensuring that people part of your system's readiness is really important to like getting that maximum value out of Oracle Cloud. So using some of these tools, or even putting Oracle Learn on your roadmap for a future module for that kind of end-to-end user experience is only going to help your users be more confident and capable in the tool, and really help you realize that investment.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Jordan. Thank you. Next kind of area we see from a level 2, a good roadmap item is user experience. This is where we're talking about, are there areas that we don't see the teams using Oracle to its potential, or they're doing things outside the application where we really want to see them within it. We're continuing to see changes to the way that the product is usable. Oracle right now is so mobile friendly with its user experience, and with the addition of Redwood, it's just going to continue to expand and become more user friendly, and role based friendly, really, from that perspective. So take advantage of looking at your organization's hierarchy and structure and making sure that you can tailor the experience for the users to the best of their abilities to be most efficient in the application. So this is where you can really get creative and start to really find more value with the tool, to make it flexible for your organization, which is the beauty of the cloud product, is that it really has all of these different configuration and personalizations available for you, which we really love to see customers take advantage of and really take it as it's their own tool. Okay, and then what we like to call level 3 is really finding the optimization. Right now in the market, we're all hearing about AI tools and these different types of chat features. Oracle obviously comes with those, and they become more robust each quarterly update as the digital assistant, which is the chat feature within Oracle Cloud, has more keys that it can work with to let your team do more kind of transactional tasks, simplified, right? Which is really cool because you can do expense processing, procurement, recruiting, all these different areas. Leverage digital assistant now to really automate those kind of routine tasks, I like to say. And then within different reporting tools, we're really seeing the different AI components come to life. That's really helping with doing that more analytical, narrative type reporting that can come with your analysis and dashboards that are in the tool that you've created. And that's just adding more value to the experience for consumption and the analysis and the platform to see, here are reports that we're creating and producing weekly, monthly, quarterly, and then now we can populate some of this data and show trends and analysis that come on top of that. A lot of customers we see using the analytics warehouse, and leveraging these different components that come with the AI tools. So lots of change happening here and new features that come in as Oracle continues to push the boundaries with what comes with the tool.
And just a quick plug here for some of these kind of emerging technologies, like ODA has been around for a while, but as we're expanding use cases and as Oracle's delivering some of those Gen AI and narrative reporting capabilities, we do have a ton of great overview blog posts with a bunch of resources in our Oracle Cloud Knowledge section of our Alere blog. And also for those of you who were either at Cloud World last year or maybe attended the virtual keynotes, there was a ton of great information on the current delivered prompts for Gen AI, what's forecasted for the next couple of quarterly releases. So something to consider, especially if you're up to date with that quarterly release process, taking a look at those new capabilities and deciding which features your organization can capitalize on.
Yeah, and from an ERP perspective, that kind of reminded me of something, Jordan, that they're really starting to work collaboratively on the B2B side with the different natural integrations they're building with JP Morgan Chase for bank connectivity and payment processing, virtual card automation with HSBC and MasterCard. We help a couple customers build those bridges natively in the application, but now they're building it more so it come more delivered out of the box. So we're plugged in with the Oracle product team there, and helping them really roll that out to customers that are going to take advantage of those kind of natural integrations that are going to extend beyond the Oracle footprint. And then what we saw last year or the year before that really start to get rolled out is the new image document recognition on the payable side, and its tool of machine learning underneath it to help with invoice generation in an application. So there's really kind of these new features that are helping the manual transactions become more efficient, so you can really start taking advantage of more of the analytical tools that come with the application, which we're going to talk about on the next slide. So the Oracle Analytics Cloud is a nice add-on feature that comes with it that you can add to your footprint of Oracle Cloud that has all of these BI reporting tool capabilities to really expand your kind of dashboarding and team's ability to look at the data that you have in the application to make strategic decisions about. The tool itself comes with really good reporting tools, and the Analytics Cloud is a nice add-on to that to really expand the reach and the capability of what you might have at your fingertips to use your data more effectively. And then just looking again at trying to find more ways to be proactive in monitoring with tools like Risk Management Cloud, which is really helping with security and enablement and making sure that everything is in compliance within your team's use of the application transactionally. So really cool that these things are all integrated in the application for you to take advantage of and really expand the breadth of your footprint on the Oracle Cloud to really get that return.
Okay, I'm gonna hop in here quick. I know we just went over a lot of information on kind of those levels of optimization. We are gonna do a quick poll here and see where everyone thinks they lay. So are you in that more level 1 stabilized option? We're still working on things like finishing on making sure you're doing some fixing, again, that core configuration's in place. Are you more in that adoption level phase where you're really working on user adoption through user experience and training, things like Oracle UI, again, getting Oracle guided learning journeys implemented? Or do you feel like you're now in that kind of last level of optimization, working on enhanced analytics, some of that narrative reporting, Gen AI? We'll give it just about 10 seconds here before we'll share results. Just another quick plug as we start to go through some final recommendations and a few resources available to all of you. If you do have any questions that Jason or I can answer live, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A or in the chat to panelists. It looks like we'll have a couple minutes here at the end. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close it out. So kind of keeping in theme with our earlier, how's everyone feeling confident about Oracle Cloud? Looks like it leads its way to where everyone gauges themselves. So kind of split, a little bit of stabilization, some adoption, and also optimization. Okay, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jason to talk through some customer examples of different areas where customers of ours were on the same optimization journey. Back to you, Jason.
Thanks, Jordan. Looks like we're doing good on time. So, like I said, we've been helping customers with what we call day 2 optimization in various levels. And one of our more recent examples is a Native American account that we really got integrated with upon their go live. And they had some missing things, I'm just going to say, from their rollout that they needed help with, and they needed to look. And they through Oracle, we got integrated with them to help them really kind of fine tune and finish their start their stabilization and finish the parts of the implementation. So one of the big things for them was they went live without the consolidated financial reporting that they needed as their organization. So we helped them with some specific targeted training for them to kind of empower them with the tools they needed to build financial statements and reports. And then that turned into us just helping them with the creation of them because of their organization. They have multiple levels and hierarchies of financial reporting packages that they need to produce. So we're able to help them take advantage of the tool through different functionalities of creation of financial statement books to really streamline that process for them and continue to help them roll that out as they're on month 2, 3, 4 of their stabilization of the initial implementation of Oracle Cloud. And this is going to continue for us to help them with just additional training, adoption, user experience, and reporting build out for them as they become more familiar with the application. So really can get hands on right away with tackling those level 1 optimization tasks and activities across just core functionality requirements, training, security, and then our next example is going to really dive into like a more optimized customer that we started with in that same position back in 2017. Recently went live, missing configuration that needed assistance with. We came in as an industry expert in specific functionality to help them complete the initial rollout of their implementation, find automation and connectivity through specific skills that we had at the time, had and have still at the time, and then built a trusted partnership with them as they move through their adoption. We still have a relationship with them. We have consistently since 2017 as they continue to grow, add new legal entities, go through merger acquisitions through an onboarding perspective, help them add new functionality, more automation through different various tools from payment collections perspectives, and then really helped just support them as they continue to use and expand the system over the past, gosh, what is that, 7 or 8 years. So building that long-term relationship has been really important for us as we look to be a trusted advisor for the long term and help with all types of activities that are required for our customers.
And I love this example, just to hop in too. I think it really showcases that cloud, as it continues to be an evolving platform, does change and grow, and they have consistent new, capabilities to meet the growing and evolving needs of your business. But whether you were an early adopter, 2017, or maybe one of those rapid implementers, or you just implemented recently, having that kind of continued care and maintenance of your application only adds more and more value. And doing it with a partner is great. We love the relationship part of it, but staying in tune with what your business needs and making those changes and enhancements and optimizations to support it really is it's a long journey, right? Not an individual process.
Okay, so what's next, or what can we take away from here? Really, how we see customers finding the most value. Most of you are more in that optimized level, but I think it's so important to have a plan, have a process, not a process, but have a plan in place to really finalize how are we going to adopt new features, get that automation, get the analytics that we want out of the tool to build the value. I still feel like most organizations have some level of pain. Maybe it's not application, but it's structure and organization related. We see a lot starting with some sort of a pain wish list, which can turn really into the need for an optimization initiative or an assessment. Taking a look at not just the application like we talked about, but the tools, the people in place, the maturity of the organization, to really find that efficiency is important. And from there, build a roadmap based on those findings and priorities to strategically continue to your investment in the tool, right? That's where you're going to start to find the most value. So really just get started. We don't find like there's a perfect way to do this or a really great way, but I think what happens is a lot of customers just get stagnant with the thought of trying to be perfect. And really what we find is make the list, take the whiteboard. Some of our customers always refer to the whiteboard that's got this pain point list that someone talked about that lives in someone's office. Write that down, right? Take it off the whiteboard, bring it into a real document that can be actionable in a plan. Get engaged in your customer networks. Oracle Cloud's great with the different communities you have. Your disposable Customer Connect has tons of information for you to take advantage of new features, new functionality, or issues you potentially might be having that you're not getting a fast enough resolution on. There's great conferences we're going to talk about for user communities to go to and hear more about customer experiences with the application and what they've been doing. And these can all resonate and to get you started. Self-assess, really figure out what the needs are. We like to rank things based on impact, priority, risk to say, does this investment make sense for us based on its impact, its cost benefit, all those different factors. Find a tool, find a way. There's tons of different ways to do that, or find a partner to help you. And then utilize those resources available and ask questions. Like I said, there's a bunch of resources available. We have a link to all these that we're going to send out. Again, Alere publishes a cloud newsletter. It's highlighting new features or functionality. We also have a web page, but really the partner network is great as well. Those release notes are going to review all the new features and functionality that come with the application each quarter. And then Customer Connect is a great tool by functional area to go look at what things are being asked for, what things are going to be coming out. Oracle product teams integrated in there, and then all the other customers as well.
And just to call out as well, some of you might be here because of our cloud newsletter, but That monthly newsletter, my team, Jason's team, our Cloud at HCM team put together with lots of great new content. As Oracle comes out with new releases, we usually do recaps so that here's what you need to know from it. It's a lot to consume. There's a ton of information coming in. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to engage and to get the information that you need. In the follow-up from this webinar, we'll be sure to include the link to register for that newsletter, and it comes on a monthly basis, the third week of the month. Following up, Jason mentioned that we have some great conferences coming up. Alir loves to interact with our clients, with other users at all these community-led kind of conversations. So we will be at Blueprint 40. These are some of our cloud sessions. I bolded the last one because Jason's actually going to be presenting with a client, waste management of ours, around implementing the Oracle Lease Accounting module, which is a fairly new module as well. We'll be at booth 1106. We'll be there all week. Stop by, say hi. I will actually be there as well. And we'd love to set up time to chat or talk through what you're looking forward to in the conference. We do have a lot of our Cloud Summit sessions are really focused too on those maybe like level 2, level 3 features like Oracle Me and what it means for your user experience, Cloud Insights and streamlining reporting, security, which is actually more that level 1 optimization, and journeys as well. So lots of great content there. For some of our lab or tribal attendees that may be on the phone, we will be at NLIT and IGA with a team there and have events both days. Happy to make sure that those get your way. And then lastly, we will be at Ascend in June at booth 415 and have 2 sessions, both that securing HCM cloud, as well as a session on what Jason mentioned, those virtual and procurement cards in Oracle Cloud and how to make those work for your business. So that brings us to our Q&A here. I'm just taking a quick peek. It looks like we don't have any questions currently. So we'll leave it open for just a minute. For those of you who are maybe ready to hop off or need to move over to your next call, again, a follow-up with this recording, as well as any additional resources will be sent in the next few days. If there's topics, let's say, inside of those different optimization layers that you'd like to see an individual webinar on, like maybe just one around Gen AI and some of that B2B capabilities, please feel free to let us know, drop it in the chat. We're always looking to make sure that our content coming up is resourceful and is useful for the problems you guys are facing. It looks like we don't have any questions. So with that, I want to make sure that we thank everyone for their time today. Thank you so much, Jason, for your expertise and all of your knowledge that you've shared with us. Please be sure to follow us at Alir Inc. across all social media platforms or visit us at alir.com. Thank you, everybody, for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.